And as you sit there checking out that description, what did he just say? I say, check out that description. I am, of course, the golden one. I am Ricky Goldman. This right here is no freelance channel. It is one that I should really be charging you people for. A channel that should win every single award known to man. It is the People Wrestling Channel. Once again, check out that description. So, something a little bit different here. I'm going to bring my guest host, we call him what you like, co-host, sorry, in a second. But something a little bit different here. And this is going to be the Golden End of the Year Award. So this is my Golden Predictions League on Facebook, WWE AEW Predictions League. If you let me know if you want to join, get yourself in there, win one of the 2 possible titles on the line up for grabs. People have voted, so let's get down to it and let's bring in the man himself, all the way from Ireland. It's Ian.
It's Christmas.
Almost 5 days away. And how are you?
I'm good. Just looking.
And I was trying to charge my phone as we were going live, so give me just 1 second. So yes, so as Ian, as we both said, this is the. Hang on. Let me play this tiny video. This is the Golden End of the Year Awards. So 8 categories. Give me 1 second. My phone. I'm going to have to charge my phone as we do this, but 8 categories. Will take about a minute or so just to discuss each nominee, really no more than that, and then maybe a little bit more to discuss the winner. So we'll go first with give me a second, Rising Star of the Year. So some of these don't have any votes, but some have a couple. So Santos Escobar with 2 votes. I think he's had a decent year, but only really been pushed towards the end of the year, only really been pushed at Survivor Series. So yeah, he's had a good year, but he's something to want to look at for next year. But as far as this year, yeah. What's your thought, quickly, Ian?
November is definitely a start. A good bit for Zelina Vega. So yeah, I think next year will be his year. It's just the start. Today matches with Dragon Lee.
Your Wi-Fi is. I'm going to translate what you say. You had a good match with Dragon Lee because your Wi-Fi.
He had a great match with Dragon Lee. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with Bobby Lashley.
So with 1 vote, Trick Williams, he's had a good year, but again, towards the end of this year, the beginning of the year, very much with Carmelo Hayes. He's very much overshadowed by Carmelo. Yeah, he's had a decent year. What do you think?
Rising in 2024 for Trick Williams.
Do you think he's had a decent year this year?
I see the feud with Carmelo and Trick. He's had a good, like, the latter part of the year has been very good. He won the North American title despite that being a short reign. But yeah, like the stuff he's doing with Carmelo, I'm looking forward to what it brings. I think it could be what feuds like Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole or Gargano and Ciampa.
With 1 vote, Eddie Thorpe. Yeah, he's had a good year. Now, are these people like Eddie Thorpe getting a push because there's nobody else, and everybody else is going up to the main roster, or they're getting a push purely because it's their time? Either way, Eddie Thorpe has had a good year. consistently on NXT week in, week out, whether it be in a match or just a promo. Yeah, and a good year for Eddie Thorpe. What are your thoughts?
The other two there have had better. Yeah,
Wow,
he's had some okay. He's had some okay. He's been okay.
Your Wi-Fi keeps kind of, I don't know if that's my Wi-Fi, yours, but with 0 votes, Thea Hale, yeah, I think she needs to get away from Chase U. Well, yeah, she's had a okay year. What do you think?
The letter, because it just Liv Morgan clone.
So Liv Morgan clone. I'm going to just translate what you say because, again, your Wi-Fi's in and out here.
Yeah, no, it's the letter ring. It's the letter ring gear. It just says Liv Morgan clone, but she looks fine in it.
With no votes, and I think he's had a good year. He's kind of come from nothing. He came up to the main roster, and they did really nothing with him. He was on main events, and I thought, oh, he's doomed. He's had a good year. JD McDonough shouldn't have really lost to R-Truth, but that's whatever. Yeah, a good year for JD McDonough.
It's he's with the Judgment Day. It's something, but R-Truth is a national treasure. So let him. That loss is not going to.
No, R-Truth is just. I couldn't care less whether R-Truth is on Raw or not. R-Truth is not a ratings puller. R-Truth, I couldn't care less whether he's never wrestles again. Not a ratings puller. Not a national treasure. He's funny. If he's funny, if you're about 10 years old, and then it gets boring quickly.
R-Truth is a national treasure. If this guy.
If you're 10 years old, yeah. If you're 10 years old.
For a person you say is entertained 10-year-olds, he got Balor and Rhea Ripley to break character. If this is a guy that can get Brock Lesnar to break character, he can get anyone to break character.
If you're 10, R-Truth is funny. Otherwise, not really. Not really. He's the things of like being confused in the Rumble, that were funny. But like when he looks for it this week on Raw, he's kind of looking for that laugh. I just thought, get boring. Anyway, with many votes, and your winner here getting a Goldie is now the total rip-off of The Rock and Austin. 0 originality, but LA Knight has come from nothing. Made a Max Dupree. Max Dupree. That gimmick was so horrible. Was it Max Dupree? Maxine Dupree? Max Dupree gimmick work. Battle Royal at SummerSlam that really meant nothing. Beating the Maze, tag with Cena, had a match with Reigns, team with Orton. So he's had a. So out of this list, he's had the best year. So what are your thoughts, Ian?
The occasion that's in it.
I didn't catch any of that, but go on.
For the occasion that's in it. No, hang on, because you just wait. Ads have to play through.
Well, this is a minute. This isn't an LA Knight love fest. This is just about a minute talking about the winner. LA Mark, LA rip off The Rock and Austin. 0 originality, 0 talent. But I'll agree he's had a good year.
Maximum Male was part of what would be Bray Wyatt's last. Wasn't that great now, but it did make a start for him. He was the most Battle Royal.
A Battle Royal meant nothing, okay.
Yeah, and then quite bigger. He had going to be Battle Royal SummerSlam.
I didn't catch any of that Battle Royal SummerSlam. Go on.
Everything came to place when he beat the Miz, when he went on to team with Cena, and then he's still going strong to this day. Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and like
Reigns
now
he's in a good match.
Now he's in a pro. And now he's in the program with Randy Orton, AJ Styles.
Oh, dear. So I'll wait for him to come back. I'm assuming that was his Wi-Fi. But he was saying that LA Knight is in a program with Styles and Orton. Also, before do get your comments in, get this shared. Let me know if you agree with what we're saying. But
so I'll just wrap it up. Like he had a next year looks bigger. We know he looks set to take on Logan Paul at WrestleMania. So WrestleMania will be his moment.
But a rip-off of The Rock and Austin, most definitely zero originality. When you look at Ellie now, I don't think that's an original gimmick. I think, yeah, very much Rock and Austin. And the whole thing of flattery is imitation the best form of flattery. Nothing wrestling it isn't original gimmick, which Ellie Knight isn't. We'll go to this next one, and it is OMG moments of the year. So many of these are returns, a couple aren't. So in no real particular order, the return of The Rock on SmackDown, I think that was pretty shocking. No one actually thought he was coming back. The Rock doesn't need WWE. He didn't need to be on SmackDown. They need him more than he needs them. Pulling in with 200 million views. Now, WWE's popular in the wrong areas. How many of those 200 million actually then, chose to watch SmackDown the week after when The Rock wasn't on? But definitely a moment of the year, The Rock returning. What do you think?
It was good, all right. Well, look, it gave him something to do while Hollywood was on strike. That's all I'll say there, but it was a good moment, all right.
Yeah, The Rock's a very busy man. The Rock doesn't need to make movies. He's very busy without making movies. So
will he show up at WrestleMania?
The Rock didn't need to be on SmackDown. The Rock, him, but yeah, it was a big moment. Does he show up at Mania? We'll have to wait and see. Ric Flair debuting for AEW. Did he even move the needle? Did anybody care? Yeah, Tony Khan being a mark. Cool. But yeah, what's your thoughts of that?
I kind of knew it was coming. I saw it coming because he's obviously he is going to be involved with Sting's retirement tour. So I saw it coming. And
Wi-Fi is better for the moment. Let's just carry on. Randy Orton returning. I thought he was never coming back. I thought his back surgery was done forever. He looks in great shape.
He was on fire that day now, but a certain moment, and that's all I'll say there.
You get cut out again there. John Cena. Okay, how many Cenas? Which of Cena's return am I going to talk about? Mainly the return of Money in the Bank. No one thought that was happening. Yeah, so Cena coming back was a great moment. Yeah, what's your thoughts?
Well, it definitely helped Grayson Waller.
Yeah, but yeah, true. One that wasn't a return, Roman Reigns beating Cody Rhodes at Mania. You could say that was a more shocking moment of the year, but it wasn't Fantasyland that Reigns was winning.
You could also call it missed opportunity of the year. You could call it the missed opportunity year. Everyone thought the stars were in line for Cody to book. Then Vince changed everything in the last hour. Roman Reigns wins. He gets 1,000 days. But look, it's happening again at WrestleMania 40, so the stars could be aligned next year.
Stars, yeah, Reigns is a star. Cody not so much. Nobody knows who Cody is, therefore not a star. Outside of wrestling, never Cody is who. Okay, so the moment, the OMG moment that everyone voted for is probably obvious. The big return, and really the only reason Survivor Series was good was, of course, the return of the best in the world, CM Punk. This is a moment that I never, Reigns beating Cody, like I said, wasn't 100% Fantasyland. But I think Punk coming back was, until it actually happened, I didn't think it was going to do. Yeah, and what did he get? Was it 95 million across social media? Again, showing that WWE is popular in social media, but how many other people stuck around? So yeah, your thoughts about Punk returning?
It was brilliant. Like it actually just did remind me of when Brett returned in 2010. It reminded me of Brett. Everyone thought Brett would never come back. He then came back. He made peace with Shawn Michaels. CM Punk has come back. He made peace with Triple H. He made peace with Shawn Michaels. But like, we don't know what the status of his contract is. I was from watching Raw the last while. Like, I think maybe he's got a similar contract like Brock and Roman has. But no, like it's good. It was good. It was a good moment to see him back, like after the War Games match. And like, I'll talk more about that pay-per-view later on. But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to what they do with him now in 2024.
I think he's my. This is not a prediction show, but quickly, I think he's my pick to win the Rumble. But
Win the Rumble.
we're gonna have a small, little, tiny break here because all you people need to know where to add me, follow me, all of that. Utmost important to never miss anything like this that I do. So take a look at this. That is right. All my socials and me, follow me, do all of that as we go into category number 3 here, and that is going to be show of the year. So Collision somehow had 1 vote. Ugh.
Well, Collision was supposed to be the CM Punk show. But then it was going good. There had been some very good matches on Collision now. Like there was FTR versus MJF and Adam Cole. CM Punk had some good ones with the likes of Ricky Starks. But the problem with Collision is wrestling shows just don't work on a Saturday compared to pay-per-views because people go out on a Saturday as well. And plus, like when you're going up against the WWE pay-per-view, you're not going to really do well. But then on the side note, when you fire the person that was going to help the show, then you've kind of dug your own grave there because the show still has some good moments, especially with the tournament that's going on. But it's not still drawing, unfortunately. It's only on one more show, but the show will still be going ahead in the next. But they have they did the show with CM Punk.
Now, if this was worst Collision, would definitely be first Collision is awful. Was it 200? And now why this was showing Tony Khan's lack of business. They went against Survivor Series and then against
Rampage is the weakest. I think Rampage is their weakest.
Collision is definitely because Collision gets less ratings, and therefore that's the weakest.
They went against SmackDown.
So he went against Survivor Series and he went against SmackDown. Didn't know it was that Rampage. Who knows? Who cares? And then that's just awful busy. Show my Tony Khan is just the worst. Rampage 0 votes. Ugh, again. Ugh, if this was worst, Rampage would be up there with the worst shows, but it isn't. 1 vote, Dynamite. Ugh.
As Dynamite still has not Dynamite would probably is still the strongest to me. Dynamite is the strongest of the AEW shows. Like there are still some good moments in it. Like there is still the Collide tournament that has having some great matches on the tournament they're doing.
Not okay, right? Okay, boring.
Classic.
If this was worst, Dynamite would definitely be up there. With 2 votes, surprisingly, though it's got better since Raw got 2 votes. It's certainly improved, but it needs a lot more improvement.
There is still good in with Raw this year. Like the start of the year, there were still Bloodline storylines in there. We had Cody come back, But then, like leading it, like there were still good, like there were still a few other, there were still a few other good stories there. Like you had Set in there with Logan Paul, and you had the Judgment Day, especially with the stuff with Edge. Then after WrestleMania, we had that terrible Raw after Mania, which kind of sold the signs that Vince McMahon was back. But then Vince was still playing some part in the creative. Then after the sale of and now Triple H is in full control. So yeah, it has gotten better, but I think I have an idea of what would be the #1 show, and it has many reasons.
Still needs improvement. Raw still needs improvement. It's not been a Raw at all this year that I thought that were good. It's been decent, but could improve a hell of a lot more than it is already.
Did you watch the Christmas edition?
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh no, you can't say
we're not awful, but there's not been one Raw. Probably maybe it's Punk coming back. That's been the only moment this year that I thought never. Apart from Punk coming back, Raw's been there's zero votes, and I'm shocked at this. NXT, I think NXT every single week is fantastic. Really good show. I do think the main roster people help out NXT, definitely. People going back to NXT have had a good run, but it's helped out Baron Corbin, definitely. It's helped out Dijak. I might be missing a few names there, but that's all I can think of at the moment. Dijak and Baron Corbin, it's certainly helped out them.
It has helped out.
I think NXT is a very, very solid show.
It has helped out a few people, but it's also hard when some people you don't really recognize. Like there's a lot of people on NXT I don't recognize. There have your Ilya Dragunovs, your Braun Breakers, your have your there's a lot. It's just hard to remember a good amount. Like you have like America.
Are you in dial-up again? Dial-up Wi-Fi.
Benefited. Two people who I think have benefited from NXT definitely have been Dragon Lee and Ireland's own Lyra Valkyrie. She's definitely benefited. Tiffany Stratton, she's another good one.
Dragon Lee, he got called up from the main roster. Has he benefited from NXT? Yeah, I suppose, I guess.
But then it's also helped Dominic Mysterio as well. Dominic Mysterio has also been.
But with many votes, and your winner getting a Goldie is the show of the year is, of course, SmackDown. You can't see it, but it says it there. It says it under the banner there. I should have really kind of positioned it somewhere else, but it says SmackDown. Solid show. The big things seem to happen on SmackDown. Obviously, you've got Reigns on SmackDown. You've got The Rock returning on SmackDown. Punk on SmackDown.
Yes, they're all
it's a very, very solid show.
The reasons those are good moments to vote for SmackDown, but the reasons I mainly vote for SmackDown, there were other reasons as well. One was LA Knight, but he wasn't the main reason. My other reasons was SmackDown held Edge's last match before he went to AEW, but my main reason SmackDown won was because it showed to William Rotunda and Terry.
When you muted. Okay.
I didn't mute. I said the reason SmackDown won for me was because of the tribute shows to William Rotunda and Terry Funk.
What's that got to do with Reigns?
It has nothing to do with Reigns. This is why SmackDown was the best show this year. Because two legends and they did a brilliant tribute show to them on SmackDown.
Bray Wyatt is not a legend.
So much of the Eddie Guerrero show.
Bray Wyatt is not a legend.
Yet he's going into the Hall of Fame next year, and Joe happens.
Shouldn't be going in the Hall of Fame. Never had a Hall of Fame career.
And he's gotten a Legends deal now to keep the family occupied. But
Paul could be Ware's in the Hall of Fame. He's not a legend. Donald Trump is in the Hall of Fame. Who else? The Bella Twins are in the Hall. The Great Khali's in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame kind of really means it depends. It kind of suppose it's an honour of them going in, and it's cool to see people coming back. But does it really mean anything when those people are in it? Ugh.
But no, like it did deserve. Like there was good action in SmackDown as well. Like it's not just Reigns that making me watch SmackDown as well. It is LA Knight. It is Damage Control. It is many people. It is LWO, Santos. It is Grayson Waller, Kevin Owens. It is the best show. And
None of those make me watch SmackDown. None of them. Most of those make me want to turn off. With Damage Control, but the rest, I can care less whether they're on SmackDown or not.
Yeah, but that's because you were waiting on a guy who's not always there, but it did have some good moments. And for me, the SmackDown moment was the Bray Wyatt and William Rotunda and Terry Funk tribute show.
Fair enough. So go to this one, pay-per-view of the year. So this is really any AEW or WWE pay-per-view. I'm not going to run through every single one. I am going to say that I think there's been no bad main roster NXT pay-per-view at all. I think they've all been good. But mentions here have been All In. Yeah, it was good for wrestling and a big stadium show. But I wouldn't say best pay-per-view of the year. What do you think, Ian?
I haven't actually. I never got to finish it. I never got to get around to finish it. I must get back to it because there were some good matches at it. But
Backlash, as I mentioned. Backlash was good, a good hot crowd. Io and Bianca was good. Bad Bunny and Priest was good. It was a good pay-per-view, but best of the year, no.
It was good. I suppose the main factor was it helped it started the push for Damian Priest to be a top star. So that's one essential part about the Backlash pay-per-view, and it helped get Cody back on track after WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble, as I mentioned, one person went for the Rumble. Now, the men's Rumble wasn't as good as the women's. It could have been booked a whole lot better, in my opinion. I would have had Cody's number one to go through the hard time storyline. I think I would have had a few more surprises, but as a pay-per-view, it was good.
With the Rumble, though, a lot of people did call it predictable and still thought Vince was in charge. But the thing with the Rumble was this was the first Rumble under Triple H's booking. Part-timers in there, but the men card, you saw that there were a lot of people on the roster who are not despite you're not going to win the Rumble, want to be on it. So he wanted to use the full-time talent. And that's what he's going to do going into the year. I
would have booked it better and had a few more surprises anyway. Also, I'd have mentioned
as well.
Also, I'd have mentioned a Wrestle Dream, Paul from Edge turning up. That was a paper. No. Okay, AEW had decent. I don't think it's been a good from bell to bell, from start to finish, from what's a pre-show? 0 hour buy-in. It's called 0 hour now, isn't it? I think from 0 hour to your main event, it's been a good AEW pay-per-view. They've all been decent. They've been okay. If they weren't free, I wouldn't be watching them. But Edge, apart from Edge debuting, what do you think?
I hadn't got around to watching that one either. I missed a lot of AEW pay-per-views now, but I did see the Edge moment now. Yeah.
The pay-per-view you went for, Survivor Series, apart from CM Punk returning.
We had 2 great War Games matches. Randy Orton came back.
Men wasn't good. The men was awful, but
Gunter and Miz delivered a fine match. Their match on Raw was much better, I think. And we had a great Dragon Lee Santos Escobar match. So, yeah, I think that's... And, of course, return.
So I put 10 of the matches that you couldn't see on Raw or SmackDown. The 2 War Games matches, the men's was awful, and then straight to women. So one whole match. Zoe Rhea was decent, and Zoe's now getting a little bit of a push out of it, but very much a Raw match. Miz Gunther was a Raw match, and Dragon Lee.
We had R-Truth return.
Who cares about him? He's not a highlight for me at all. He's funny and good to see him back. He's back from injury. But he didn't make or break the pay-per-view for me. I couldn't care less whether R-Truth never comes back.
There you go.
I didn't think, R-Truth is back. Whoopie-doo. Wasn't exactly CM Punk coming back now, was it? To take out Punk's return, it was a pay-per-view. But with many votes, now before I reveal who's won, for me, do I go with Shaw or do I go with Memories? For me, So Money in the Bank was good. You had Cena, Reigns, Ronda Rousey, Trish, Logan Paul, the two ladder matches themselves. I think it was a really good pay-per-view for London. What do you think?
It was a good pay-per-view. Like, the crowd was good. It started the momentums for it started the big top pushes for Damian Priest and Io Sky, and now we've seen what Io's doing. We had an amazing tag team main event between the Bloodline.
A shocking win, but the pay-per-view I have gone for, because rather than being biased and thinking, if we voting for memories, definitely Money in the Bank or the memories I had in London and all of that. But for show-wise, and again, you might to see this play under the banner, but WrestleMania with quite a few votes. Yeah, I thought Mania, definitely a great pay-per-view, some great moments. Yeah.
That was good. I love Mania. I thought night one was the best. One for me, like, was my favorite because it wonders for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. Like, it.
Oh, you keep freezing. You Rhea Ripley, Charlotte. What else did you say?
It helped. It definitely did wonders for Rhea Ripley and Sami
Zayn.
Do wonders for Austin Theory.
There's Theory must say, I bet Theory was happy and unhappy all at the same time. He beat Cena and got a Mania win, but that was the Cena he beat. So
he never. Night two, it was night two was fine, but there were all how things were booked. Edge, Gunter, Drew, and Sheamus. Everything that happened with Cody and Roman.
So we've got 4 more categories to go, but they're a big, as Ian said, or as I said earlier, 5 days to the big day. So T-shirts, you must galore. Oh, hang on, what have I done? Oh, I pressed something there. T-shirts galore are ready to be awaiting under your Christmas tree, and here they are. That is right, so protein teas, Gummans, get them now. They've shown me they'll be in your possession in time for Christmas. And all my socials on screen right now. So we'll go to category number 5. Who's going to get the Goldie and what category is it? Well, it's Faction of the Year. So Imperium with 0 votes, unfortunately. I think Imperium have been a good faction this year.
It's mostly Gunter that's doing the work. It's mostly Gunter that's doing the work because Vinci and Eichner are losing a lot and he's not happy with them. So he's now taking time off for the rest of January, and then we see what happens with Eichner and Kaiser during that time off.
Metaphor, unfortunately, also with 0 votes. Metaphor, I think, Oro Mensah, Jakara Jackson, and Lash Legends getting a better push, being with Noam. I think they're a good faction. Noam's funny. I think him having the Heritage Cup kind of makes a faction. So, yeah.
It's all right. Noam is, but he'd probably be better one of them, but They'd be more categorized with groups like the Social Outcasts.
Yeah, but I suppose. But Social Outcasts were never really over there, I don't think, and it didn't last very long anyway. With 0 votes, the Don Callis family. I don't watch AEW, so you'll have to take this, Ian.
The Don Callis family consists of Konosuke.
I know who they are. I meant, do you think they've had a good year?
Yeah. They're getting started now. At least it's because he scored wins over Kenny Omega. Like, it could have and had to go away as take. Would like to see what it's Hobbs. He slammed a Big Show, and like Kyle Fletcher, like will just have so.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to, but they've never had like a factions the way WWE all the gold and all, like factions past and present.
With one vote, Blackpool, I don't know if they're still a faction, but Blackpool Combat Club.
They're still a faction, yeah. They're still a faction. Still a faction.
I know that Moxley won the international title, and I don't know what Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson is doing now. Apparently he's on the booking team, which really says it all about Tony Khan, listens to a wrestler. It's the reason 10 million lives don't watch AEW. Yeah. What are your thoughts about the Blackpool Combat Club this year? Do you think they've had a good year?
It's been fine. Like, John Mox is mostly on Ring of Honor. They've been all right. They've had some good moments, particularly the War Games feud with the Elite. That was a blood and guts match.
With 0 votes, I don't think these have been a bad faction. LWR. But then also at the same time, I think they've been definitely overshadowed by Ray. I know. Going back to NXT last night, Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza, or what he was called, Cruz del Toro. Went back to NXT, so let's see what they do there. If it's just a one-off or they're there for a while, let's wait and see. But yeah, they've been a decent faction this year.
They could back up Dragon Lee anyway, and I'd say Santos will try and fight for the rights for LWO because there's talk of him teaming with Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
So do you think LWO have had a decent year?
But they were over as merch. We saw how over they got at Backlash with the Puerto Rican crowd. Like, the ones, yeah, Ray benefited from as well, but the other ones who benefited probably would be Santos Escobar and Zelina Vega. And it also got Carlito back in the fold as well.
With 0 votes, you mentioned before, I thought these would have got a few votes, but Damage Control, you probably could say that EO's been the star of it. But yeah, definitely have had a decent year.
I'd say like things are going to get bigger for them as well, especially leading into the Rumble and depending on the direction now if Bayley wins it. And now with the Kabuki Warriors back together, they're more likely going to take the titles off Chance and Carter next year.
Yeah, I would give Chance and Carter a little bit of a run. With only 2 votes, the Bloodline, but I suppose they split up.
Well, look,
halfway through the year, they split up heading into Money in the Bank. They split up then. Now they're back together.
With Sammy out and Jimmy gone solo, yeah, like I think it's going to start dying down by next year. I think for them as a faction.
But now Jimmy's back in it, and I don't think they really know what to do with the Bloodline. It is just let's do something until getting into next year. Yeah. But with many votes, the faction of the year has been the Judgment Day. I think, yeah, definitely. Very dominant. They're all champions of the same. No, the Bloodline were champions at the same time. But yeah, really dominant. You've got Rhea Ripley, we'll get to later on. Dominant world champion. Balor and Priest, dominant tag team champions. Dominic, 2-time North American champion. So definitely Judgment Day, get my vote.
It's definitely done wonders for Priest, Rhea, and Dom. With Finn, it's a different case because Finn lost a feud with Edge. He lost a feud with Seth Rollins. Everyone thought he'd get his moment at SummerSlam. He did win Tank Gold, but that was good. And they main event a pay-per-view as a faction.
I thought they were going to win. Finn was going to win it.
But it did more for Priest and Rhea and Dom.
I didn't think Finn was winning at SummerSlam. I thought if he was winning at all, it was going to be at Money in the Bank. First UK, first, yeah, you had Clash of the Castle, but kind of the first England pay-per-view after 31 years, and Balor's not from England, but neither's Drew from Wales, and they made a big fuss about that. So I thought, yeah, they were going to give Finn the title at Money in the Bank, but they didn't, so there you go.
Just had a crazy thought for next year.
Go on.
Does Priest take the leadership away from Finn in the Judgment Day?
Well, there isn't really a leader, is there?
Yeah, but I'd say, like, with the way Priest is, he could be, like, a more leader. Like, he could give Finn the boot, probably at Mania, and then cash in at Mania during Rollins and
Probably now. I think he cashes in on Corder. Anyway, let's go to Tag Team of the Year.
You're dreaming about that.
So Zero. Well, he's not cashing in on Reigns. He's not cashing in on Punk.
But, like, it depends on Punk's
one direction. There's one direction only.
We'll get to that again close.
There's one direction only. He's not cashing. Punk's winning at Mania, so he's not cashing in on Punk. He's not cashing in on Reigns. Leaves one person left, unless it's a failed cash-in. Anyway,
we'll get back to that in 2024.
With one vote, the family. I think they've been a good tag team in NXT. Two-time NXT tag team champions. Stacks has certainly been probably the star of that tag team.
They're fun. The Dawn is fun. Like, it didn't get the character for a while, but like when he got Stacks and then they started working as a team, like you get into them because they can do good. They did good. They had some good matches there.
Also with one vote, Alpha Academy. Chad Gable is, yes, good in the ring. Character-wise, totally goofy and horrible and just ugh. But in the ring, he's good, and he's got Otis, Maxine Dupree, and now Akira Tozawa in the team. So,
I hope Chad Gable
they are a good tag team.
I hope Chad Gable gets to break out more in 2024. Like, if you saw the matches he had with Gunter made him a serious wrestler.
With 0 votes to Butch and Ridge Holland, the Brawling Brutes. Been a decent tag team this year.
Who've probably separated now, so like we don't know what the story with Sheamus is when he comes back to the Brutes. We know he's injured and his contract is expiring, but I'm sure Triple H won't want him to leave.
Well, so you're going to go to AEW, and that's it. I don't think it'd be a big name.
If Charlotte and the Mysterios can resign, I'm sure Sheamus could resign.
But if Sheamus was to leave, he's going to go to AEW, and he's not exactly a big name, is he? So it's not like, oh, Sheamus is at AEW.
He wouldn't be called Sheamus, though. He'd be called Stephen Farrell.
Whatever. Call him Fred Bloggs. But he's not. Oh, Sheamus, AEW. No one's going to care. With one vote, Pretty Deadly. And they'll be on TV for a couple of weeks. I don't know where they've gone. They've been a decent tag team.
Injuries derailed one of them. One of them got injured by Ridge Holland. So that kind of derailed their momentum for a bit. They started off well and they got a shot in during the UK tour Money in the Bank against Kevin and Sammy. But then injuries shortened them down a bit. And they had a few good matches with the Brutes. So yeah, like hopefully by next year they'll have some tag gold.
With 0 votes, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Yeah, they were a good tag team. It just didn't really last that long. It didn't last that long. I think they were champions for like a whole 3 months or something. Not even that, was it? I can't even remember. They won a Mania and lost. When did they lose? Can't remember. But
then they beat Reigns and Solo pretty. Then they lost during the feud with the Judgment Day.
So yeah, about 3 months. Right. Even that, then a couple of months in the champion. Let's say 3 months. Your thoughts on them?
It's broken up there.
Your thoughts on Owens and Zayn?
I thought it was at WrestleMania in the main event, and no main event or WrestleMania. They had a good match with the Bloodline, and had that street fight with.
With 0 votes, also New Day. They've been an okay tag team this year. They don't have many big wins or anything, but yeah, they've been entertaining.
They've done nothing this year, to be honest.
Well, also 0 votes.
Apart from 0 votes.
The Usos, which I was surprised at. I think they've been a good tag team. They beat Reigns and Soul at Money in the Bank. So I was shocked at that. But yeah, I think they've been a good tag team this year.
They got that. This was the last run of the Usos. But when you look at WrestleMania, they main evented the paper. Jay at WrestleMania.
You're breaking up. I'm having trouble kind of. Anyway, but the winners gain of Goldie with many votes are FTR. I went for FTR just because they've been seeming the most consistent this year.
They have been very consistent in AEW and in Ring of Honor. They've been very consistent.
FTR tag team of the year. Wonder what we'll do next year. So
they
2 more.
With AEW this year. They're going to retire in AEW, so that's all that's left for them to do now.
Yeah. So 2 more categories left, and we'll play this first. Well, no, actually, few videos to play here. So we'll get these out of the way and then get to more categories. So we'll play this first.
Welcome to my store on Pro Wrestling Tees. Check out my beautiful dog logo on this black t-shirt. Or how about this waffle on this gold nice t-shirt we have here. And here are a few other designs. We got some on white, some on sand, 2-sided shirts. Don't forget to search Billy Ray Dog on Pro Wrestling Tees. Billy Ray Dog on Pro Wrestling Tees. With that on Pro Wrestling Tees, more shirts are always coming.
That is right, Pro Wrestling Tees, Billy Ray Dog. There's a t-shirt you can buy. Head over and buy one. Another video, let me just quickly play this. That is right, GWO Gold World Order for Life, and last video to play here is this. That is right, the Raining Rock podcast debuts first Wednesday in January, and already got a UK wrestler, Ryan Law, will be appearing on the January 10th episode. He'll come on for an interview. And like I said, that's always been the dream for me to interview wrestlers. So yeah, he's not The Rock, but he's a star to UK wrestler, Ryan Law.
And maybe next year, if WWE is back in the UK, you could try and get him backstage.
The Rock. He's very, very busy. Very, very busy and very, very he won't pay him. I've not got any money to pay him. So we'll go to this female superstar of the year. So with 0 votes, Charlotte. Charlotte's had a good match against Rhea at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, she's injured now for 9 months, so she's going to miss next year's Mania. That's unfortunate for her.
I was disappointed. I was thinking it'd be Charlotte and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania.
But yeah, I think Charlotte's had a decent year. What do you think, Ian?
She was fine, yeah. Like, she put Rhea Ripley over. She was gone for a good bit. She came back, lost at SummerSlam. She had the women's. So now she's gone for 9 months. With her gone, their game now in the next while. Like, we've got Io as the champion. Bianca Belair will move up to a top spot while she is gone. We'll have to also. The big question is, though, will Jade Cargill become the SmackDown?
No idea, but also with 0 votes, you mentioned Bianca Belair had a good match with Io at Backlash, and albeit for 2 minutes, won the title at SummerSlam.
Well, she became the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. She was the second last person to hold. She was the second last person to hold the title until Asuka beat her, and then it was christened the Women's Heavyweight Championship. Then, like, yeah, she had the War Games match as well. So, but like, she's still going strong. Like, so I think now with Charlotte gone, Bianca will hold the top position. So, depending on another way, I'm looking for the women's match at WrestleMania. If Jade Cargill is on.
You froze then, so I'll just move along.
I'll just say quick. With Bianca Belair will now hold the top spot while Charlotte is gone. If she beats Io before WrestleMania, then it has to be Bianca versus Io at WrestleMania. Bianca versus Jade at WrestleMania.
I would do Bayley versus Io somehow, somewhere. I think that's what I would do. Very quickly, booking Mania would have Bayley, Io. Does Bayley win the Rumble? I don't know, but I'd have Bayley, Io, and that finishes their storyline. And Bayley says, "Well, you're only champion because I made you," and they do that.
With Bayley versus Io, you could have Bayley win the Rumble. Then you have Bayley do a Batista and turn on Io because she could sense that they would try and kick her out of the group by then. So
speaking of Bayley, unfortunately, she's had 0 votes. I don't think she's had a bad year. I know it said something on Facebook that she's not had many wins this year, but despite that, I think she's had a decent year. What do you think?
No, she hasn't won a lot this year now, but I think it wasn't personal. She knew she had to start putting people over. So if she wants to help put new talent over, then it's for her. Then it's all for her. Like, she has wonders for Io.
Also 0 votes, your current women's champion, Io Sky. I think she's had a good year, won Money in the Bank and won the title. So I'm surprised 0 votes for her. But there you go.
Disappointing as well. But like, Io's had a good year. Like, there was a bit. They were, despite the fact they won the tag titles. Then we thought they'd Money in the Bank and the title, and now Asuka and Kyrie and Carter for the women's title. So we have to see what direction Rumble and challenge Io, or if she does elite team with, say, Becky and possibly, that would be good.
You cut out there anyway. Moving along, also with 0 votes.
Yeah.
She had many. Well, I suppose she won at Mania. She beat Trish. Becky Lynch has had a decent year.
Yeah, but those were good. Like, despite a few people that shat on the Becky Trish feud, they had 2 good moments. It had the steel cage match, which was a brilliant match. But the highlight for me for Becky was her short run in NXT. She did wonders to help Tiffany Stratton. She helped get Lyra Valkyrie over. Before War Games, she got Xia Li over. And she did. His match was pretty fun as well. I'm liking the stuff that she's doing with Nia Jax at the moment, and now we're getting them. Finally, we're getting them at day 1.
It's Raw, but okay. Also 0 votes, and I believe she won the title. Was it for the third time this year? Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, she's won 3 titles. Like she's like surprising. Like she's the top star. Like the top. Well, her and Toni Storm are the top women stars in AEW. I'd like to see more for Britt Baker. But yeah, she won the belt 3 times. She even beat Saraya for her, and Saraya won it at all in.
With 1 vote, you mentioned Toni Storm. I think it's mainly her gimmick that's got her over, but yeah.
At the moment in AEW, the timeless Toni Storm character is really fun. Is funny. But like she has a little bit of creative freedom there. Like you have to say she has been used better than what she wasn't given the fair chance in WWE.
She was a former NXT UK Women's Champion, so that's much bigger than anything in AEW. So, main roster, she didn't have a good run at all. But in NXT UK, definitely, without a doubt.
She wasn't given the fair chance due to the pervy people behind the scenes.
So, with many, many votes, it shouldn't come to you as a shock. And your winner getting a Goldie Woman of the Year is Rhea Ripley, unpinned since last May. You want to talk about another star? I don't think Rhea's a star at all. No one outside of wrestling, no one's heard of her. But
Mammy is on top.
Rhea definitely gets my vote. So unpinned since last May.
Mammy is on top. Mammy has been one of the MVPs of this year. The Royal Rumble, first woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble at number 1, set a record for that. She beat Charlotte Flair. The one thing I disapprove of her reign is that she didn't defend it that much because she's been.
Oh, you're frozen again.
Yeah,
so
I know. I hate this. I'll just start again. I'll be quick. This year in WWE, especially with winning the Rumble at number 1, she then beating Charlotte Flair. My only complaint is that she hasn't defended. That's my only complaint.
Well, and we move on to the final category, which is male superstar of the year. So it's 0 votes. Drew McIntyre, which I don't think is returned. So that was a good return at Money in the Bank. That was a bit of a shocker. We got that as well. Don't think he's had a bad year.
Drew missed SummerSlam. Lost to Gunter. Part of something. So will he be here in 20? His contract, whether he leaves WWE to go to AEW. So
to go to AEW to be on one Dynamite and then be demoted to Rampage, and again it won't be Drew McIntyre's in AEW. Who cares? Who watches AEW to know that he will be there?
Like he goes to AEW, doesn't get used. He's on Dynamite for a bit. Major Collision or worse. He could.
So with 1 vote, Orange Cassidy, I think, has he had the most title defenses this year out of any champion in any company? This is hard work. Completely frozen.
Yeah, now say that one again.
Orange, with 1 vote, Orange Cassidy, has he not had the most title defenses this year out of any champion in any company?
He's actually one of the examples that the mid-card titles have been felt like the most important titles in both WWE and AEW, because the people a lot of times, and he's had great matches out of it, including the matches he had with Mox. But he has been one.
With 0 votes, zero votes, Swerve Strickland. I think he's had an okay year. He had the match with the horrible, awful,
Hangman,
crappy AEW match against the typical AEW match against Hangman. Awful, but yeah, he has that.
He's definitely one of the breakout stars in that company for this. especially with the matches with Hangman, some matches with Danielson, the match with John Moxley in the Continental Classic. Like, he should have really won that now, to be fair. He should have beaten Moxley that day.
And very quickly, I think the reason that AEW will never be WWE, reason 10 million, is Swerve Strickland. I'm sure he did House of Glory. We might be wrong here, but House of Glory, HOG in America. Now, cool for the fans, cool for the company. It pulls people in. But if you can see Swerve Strickland or Sean Spears at your local indie show in America, they aren't stars. How many indie shows over here or in America or anywhere does Roman Reigns appear on? None. How many does Seth Rollins appear on? None. Therefore, because they're stars and they don't have to appear on indie shows. Like I say, cool for the indie shows, cool for the company, cool for the fans. But it is all
yes, Seth was an indie guy, but he doesn't need to be anymore. But I'm sure he doesn't forget where he comes from.
But you don't see him turning up on some random indie show in America because they're stars. No. Well, he isn't a star, but
he is a star. He is a star in a way. But
outside of WWE, who's heard of him?
He knows where he comes from anyway.
So outside of wrestling, who's heard of Seth Rollins?
I'm sure there's many. Like he's going to be in the next Captain America movie, but he is. Right.
So outside of wrestling, no one's heard of Seth Rollins. He's never going to be one of those names you go to and say, "Name me a wrestler," and you go, "Oh yeah, Seth Rollins." It's never going to happen. So no, they don't really know who he is unless you watch wrestling. Most like the rest of most of the roster, anyway. Zero votes also Adam Cole. I don't think he's had a bad year.
He's been having good. The stuff he's been doing with MGM has helped him a good bit, but unfortunately, injury kind of derailed that. And we still are under the mystery: is he going to be the devil? Yeah,
but I presume he's going to be. I can't see anybody else. People are saying Jack Perry, but I don't know.
The three options would be either Adam Cole, Jack Perry, or some are thinking Britt Baker.
A lot of people are thinking Punk, but it's not going to be him, is it?
Actually, if we're doing any crazy predictions, I've got one in mind. But I'll tell you to do that later after this.
With one vote, Dominic Mysterio, I think he's a two-time North American champion. Him along with Cody, I think has had 100 matches this year. So, yeah.
100 matches, but the talking point for Dom would be everything that happened with him and Ray leading into WrestleMania, and of course the stuff with Rhea Ripley.
Should he have beaten Ray at Mania? Possibly. Anyway,
he probably would have. But depending on the situation, it was Rey Mysterio's weekend in the Hall of Fame, so he needed it. But Dominic won't suffer from it. Dominic survived it anyway, especially with the stuff with Judgment Day, winning the North American title and having banger matches at it. So he'll be fine.
Also, we won.
Look at it this way: he's been chosen to be CM Punk's first opponent in Madison Square Garden on St. Stephen's Day.
He hasn't been chosen. Well, okay, yeah, that's cool. Also, with one vote, the guy you went for, Cody Rhodes. He's had a good record, but a good year.
He's had a good year. He's had a really good year. Like, he has really established himself as a face in the company. The wins over Brock Lesnar. He's not the face of the company.
He's not the face of the company.
He's as a face in the company. The wins over Brock Lesnar. The appearance. Hang on, let me talk first. The wins over Brock Lesnar. The appearances at the Wyatt Funk tribute show. The appearance at Tribute to the Troops. Leading a team to victory in the War Games. So, he's had winning the Royal Rumble. Yeah, he's had a good first year. Next year, I think, will be his moment.
He's had an okay year.
Does he need to win the Rumble?
Good year. He's had an okay year.
But no, I think it will be his moment. He's also helped in some ways get a few people from AEW into WWE, especially with Brian Pillman.
No, he hasn't. That's money on Triple H. Because it has nothing to do with it. That's money on Triple H.
Like Jay Cargill.
Cody's not God.
No, I'm not saying he's God, but it is kind of a start. It has started to help get a few people.
He got nobody into WWE, not one person. That would be Triple H and money.
Yeah, but hang on. Jade Cargill did say Cody were friends.
Yeah, she's a mark. Jay Cargill must be a mark then. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said before, when we spoke about this back in September.
So Jay Cargill's a mark then, right? Rakesh is a mark.
As I also said, when we did this back in September, when we talked about WrestleMania, who Roman should face, you keep Cody in a top position. You lure more people from AEW into WWE, the ones who think they're not getting used enough or they might be scared to come to WWE because they may not become a success into that position. Like I said, we've seen it with those two, with Brian Pillman Jr., who's now Lexus King. We're seeing it with Jade Cargill. We could see it with Andrade next year when his contract expires.
Yeah.
So,
it's money and Triple H. It's money that gets them into WWE. Nothing to do with Cody. Cody's got no power at all. With 2 votes,
you put him in the position and you beat. Hang on, let me finish this first. If you in that top position, one of the people who created the rival company, then, and that's all I'll say.
You could tell that anyway. With 2 votes, you've been champion for over a year. MJF.
He's had a very good year, yes. I've liked the stuff. The match, like, we had the Iron Man match with Danielson, which is one of the best matches of the year. All the stuff with Adam Cole. He's really good. The stuff with Adam Cole has helped him get over as a face. Everyone thought he'd be a heel for life because he is really good at being a heel and getting on people's tits. But, like, for me, heel of the year has got to be Christian Cage. But he has had a good year. I wish he'd just defend his title a bit more, but, like, hopefully we'll see more as a face. The only other question now is if he has resigned with AEW, because his contract does expire on January 1st. And then there was talk he signed a multi-year contract. If he has signed a multi-year contract with the company, then yeah, that's fine. Because at the moment, he's in a position where he doesn't need to go to WWE. He's in a good position at the moment. So let him ride out for another few years, and then we'll see what happens in 2027.
With 1 vote, someone who's definitely had a better year than Cody because he's world champion and been unpinned for nearly a year, Seth Rollins.
He's definitely had this. I think has been his best year now. This has been his best year because, like, he was heel for a few years and then he started putting more people over. And then he put over a lot of people, especially Cody. And then Triple H took over. He put him back in the top position. He beat Logan Paul at Mania. He became the world champion. And basically, everyone called the world title the secondary title. And say what you want about that, but at the end of the day, he took that title. And he has done wonders with the belt, especially he has defended it more times than Roman. And that's not this knock at Roman, because Roman has not been there for most of the year. Seth has put that title on his back and he's been defending it more. And look what it's gotten him. He became a 3-time PW Insider Wrestler of the Year.
And so some marks in a magazine, I'm sure Rollins really cares about that.
No, but he has done more defending the title than Roman. And that's no disrespect to Roman. Because
Rollins has been a good world champion, but the title is very secondary compared to Reigns' title.
But he's made it into a top title anyway, so like he has taken the top title.
No, he hasn't. It's secondary.
Then, like he will, I'm sure. Like he may get another run, like because he will. Like his contract is set to expire next year, but we know he is going to resign. He's not going to go. He's not going to take. And he's not going to go to AEW or Impact. He is going to resign. He knows where his bread is buttered. So
with 2 votes, of course.
Do we see him? So here's the question: do we see him go into the world title shows in Backlash?
I don't know.
Then do we see him in back? Do we see him at Bash of Berlin?
I don't care what Rollins does. He's not Reigns. He's irrelevant.
I'm only asking a question.
I don't care what it. Right. So moving on with 2 votes. Of course, my guy at 1,206 days. Definitely a better year than Cody. Definitely, without a doubt. Champion almost 3.5 years. Roman Reigns.
So we only got 2 votes.
Unfortunately, yeah, me and somebody else.
Oh, he didn't win. And we know why he didn't win, because he wasn't there for most of the year. Yeah, he had some good title defenses. He had good title defenses with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody, LA Knight. Jay match was fine, but it was too long. He had the great tag match with the Bloodline. That was good and all, but he wasn't there for most of the year. So, and that's why...
He didn't have a good match with LA Knight at all. He carried LA Knight to a match.
He wasn't there, but the main thing was he wasn't there for most of the year. And that's what people want, champion. They be there most of the year. And now let's see where he is by next year, because I think by 40 the reign has to end.
Well, probably, yeah. But your winner is, of course, the reigning Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. Close to 600 days. I think he's becoming a reigns. He's unbeatable. There's nobody at his, just no one at his level.
He is definitely ready for that. He is ready for that big spot in 2024. Like, you look at this year, you look at the year he had.
Still unpinned. So you could say he's had a better year than anybody. Reigns was pinned. Cody lost. Rollins hasn't been pinned, but
he hasn't even lost the world title match. But like, you look what Gunther has done this year. Like, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, unpinned, successful Royal Rumble debut. He won his first WrestleMania. And he's made a lot of stars. And he's also taken another title, the Workhorse title, the mid-card title, and made it one of the most relevant titles in the WWE, probably the third most after the World and the Undisputed Heavyweight title. So Gunther, they have a diamond in the rough with Gunther. So there is going to be big things coming his way in 2024. Do we see another Royal Rumble performance where he probably breaks another record? Yeah, we would have probably seen him main event WrestleMania with Rollins had it not been for Punk's return. So by next year, if he's holding onto the belt, the person they have to give him is Brock Lesnar. He needs to beat Brock Lesnar. Yeah, go on.
I would have Lesnar go off the IC title because that's devaluing Lesnar, but he beats Gunther. Gunther's at the point now, who does he lose to? There's nobody. They haven't got anybody.
Well, first off, you don't need to give Lesnar the Intercontinental title. You need to use Lesnar to get Gunther over to get him to even higher spots, because he is ready for that main event title. Then you have someone beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title at Backlash France, and then you skyrocket that person to defend the title as much as he can. And meanwhile, Gunther could go into Bash at Berlin, defeat Seth Rollins or Damian Priest or CM Punk or whoever holds the title coming in after that. Hang on, let me talk. At Bash at Berlin, and then he is set, and there is another star in him, and there is another new star. And then there's
Punk ain't losing for a while. And Gunther's Gunther is level below Punk, ain't beating Punk.
Well, then the option is, like, depending, if you don't give it the title to Punk at WrestleMania, then you have to give it to him another time. It really depends on his contract, is what kind of contract he has on Raw. Like, if he has a contract similar to Brock and Roman, then you don't give it to him at WrestleMania. Maybe you give it to Damian Priest for a bit, then Seth gets it back, and then he goes in to Bash at Berlin to face Gunther. Because Gunther is ready for that spot now.
But and I've Gunther lose either triple threat or fail four-way. He doesn't get pinned. That makes him look strong. But I do think he's becoming like a Reigns. There's nobody for him to lose to. He feels levels above everybody.
Like, he is definitely ready for that. He's definitely ready for that big spot. Like, they know, like, it's like Triple H, who know what they've got with Gunther. So that's why he.
You froze again. Hello, you froze. You're saying that, yeah.
I'll say again, Gunther, like, it's also thanks to people like Triple H, backstage or creative, who know what they have with Gunther and are just taking him to levels. They're taking him to bigger levels.
I do think that he'll be in the Rumble, and I think Lesnar probably costs him the Rumble to get to that match. But that's Lesnar.
Well, if you want to cost him,
that's him Gunther face. Would be Lesnar. Why would Lesnar? Whatever. I think that'll be the match. Why would Lesnar? So Lesnar's heel or no? I don't know.
With the match, you could have Gunther. What you have is you have Gunther eliminate Lesnar. Then Lesnar costs Gunther the match. So then you start the setup for the WrestleMania match. You have Gunther as the heel and Lesnar as the face. I think Lesnar would work well as the face. It kind of be like the old days of 80s wrestling where the American face takes on the European bad guy. So then
and a win over and Lesnar, even though Lesnar's lost quite a bit, that's still big at Mania, so it does make Gunther, definitely.
I'd have Lesnar put over Gunther. I think, like, they need use Lesnar now to help start new stars, and I think you have him put over Gunther, and maybe that should be Lesnar's last match. There's nothing left for him to do, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I think he's the perfect person to give Lesnar his last match. Unless, well, he's the perfect person, though. The only other person I could think of that could probably give Lesnar his last ever match would be Braun Breaker, but that'd be it. That's it.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our end of the year awards.
Overall,
if you,
it's been a crazy year for wrestling. It's been a crazy, interesting year for wrestling. Like, there's been highs, there's lows. Like, we started the year with Vince coming back, and then we were all worrying that WWE was going to be sold to Saudi Arabia. We're all worrying about that. We've seen people come back that we never thought would come back again.
Punk, definitely, yeah.
We saw the end of Vince era.
So for those watching later on, get your comments in. Let us know if you agree with those, or you think there was somebody else who was males to start the year, female to the tag team of the year, factory of the year, so on and so on.
Any predictions for 2024?
We'll do that on the podcast January 3rd. That's why people must tune in and watch. Let's not spoil anything yet. January 3rd, we can find out our predictions for 2024. But yeah, that's been the Golden End of Year Awards. Hopefully get to do this next year as well, to start to do something different. Like I said, if people want to join my predictions league, just let me know. Go after one of the titles up for grabs. And thank you to Ian for joining me. I'll just put you backstage for now while I finish up. And you're still frozen a little bit, but anyway. So check out that description. PMP, Pancakes, and Power Slams. Go and check them out. Last night it was Who Should Gunther face at Mania. Then the after party afterwards. Only $4 a month, so get involved in that. For your podcasts, DOMCAST and In Time Wrestling Podcast, go and follow Just In Time 211. For your eFeds, TWF Network, ASPW Production, and Radio Get Stream Wrestling. And for your promo-based eFeds, PPA Promo Performance Alliance. Coming up will be, I'll be here quickly on Christmas Day. World's End predictions, World's End watch along. So that again, here live Christmas Day, just to wish you all a Merry Christmas. A quick video. World's End predictions, and then World's End watch along, and then that's it for 2024. But do like and subscribe, and it is Ricky Goldman.